Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. We have a huge stack of stuff here today to discuss. A lot of these people are not going to receive the Mother of the Year award with Mother's Day rapidly approaching. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. First, I would like to thank you. We are almost at 54,000 subscribers. That would not be possible without all of you. I appreciate it. If you like the channel, please subscribe, hit that like button if you like our video, and hit that little bell if you want notifications of when we do a new video or when we are going to go live. And don't forget, if you'd like the official Crime Talk mug, there is a link below where you can find it. Now, today, with Mother's Day rapidly approaching, I would like to talk about some people who are not going to get the Parents of the Year award. And the first one I'd like to start talking about is the A.J. Freund case in Illinois. This was the case we talked about last week where the mother and father, it appears to have drug-related issues. The father is a disbarred attorney who basically called the police and said that their son was missing. He must have been taken over night and have no idea where his son was. As it turned out, nobody believed the story, and the parents, particularly the father, led the police to a shallow grave where they found A.J. Freund's small body. What we know about this is that both parents are obviously going to be charged with homicide of A.J. Freund. What we are learning is that through the investigation, the police have searched cell phones and computers. And on the morning of April 15th at approximately 3:17 a.m., there were several searches in a quick succession, all regarding child CPR, basically how to do it. And for those of you who are not familiar with the facts of this case, it is alleged, or apparently the father confessed, that the child was beaten and put into a cold shower, ultimately died. They put him in the trunk of the car and took him off to be buried in the woods. Their case fell apart so quickly, and both are charged. Also, what's interesting is that the caseworkers who are involved with the parents of young AJ have been terminated, as well they should have been. This child was born with opioids in their system. Mother is currently pregnant now. I'm not a big government get involved in everybody's life kind of guy, but if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Someone needed to be following these individuals around much more closely than what took place. It could have prevented the death of young AJ. In another senseless case of child abuse resulting in death, this is simply homicide. In New York City, a 3-year-old was pulled from a burning Audi. The police were called to this Audi, which was on fire, about 9 p.m. When they arrived, they found a young child named Zoe in the car. The doors had been chained from the inside so that no one could open the doors, and the car was on fire. Authorities were able to remove Zoe from the fire. She was transported immediately to the hospital, but unfortunately passed as a result of her burns and wounds. The father, who was found at the scene, apparently had caught himself on fire and was found in the river treating himself for his burns. It also turns out that apparently the mother and the father in this particular case had a child custody dispute, and apparently this father loved his child so much that if he couldn't have the child, no one could. This is just wrong. This is sick, and this father needs to be convicted of murder. Now, in the "it just doesn't make sense" category, there is a case out of Texas that clearly does not make sense. And I think that, unfortunately, once a little more time passes and people have some heat put on them, so to speak, the truth is going to come out, and I don't think it's going to be good. But a young 4-year-old girl named Maleah Davis, who was recently recovering from brain surgery, disappeared after her stepdad says he was carjacked and knocked unconscious. This story doesn't make sense. The police already are saying that it isn't making sense. Darian Vence, the stepfather, told police he was driving to the George Bush International Airport around 6 p.m. on Saturday. With him in his silver Nissan Altima were Maleah and Vence's 2-year-old son. The trio were on their way to pick up Maleah's mom, who was returning to Texas from Massachusetts. While traveling on the Southeast Freeway, Vence hears a popping noise like he has a flat tire. When he pulled over to the side of the road to check, Vence told police a blue pickup pulled off behind him and 2 Hispanic men got out. It is alleged that once these 2 Hispanic men approach, they say that Maleah looks nice, very young, and very sweet. Then Vence told the police that he was hit on the head and lost consciousness. When Vence says he initially woke up, that the 2 children were in the back of the pickup of the Hispanic men being carried away. Apparently, Vence then says, after slipping in and out of consciousness for a while, Vence told the police he regained full awareness around 6 p.m. on Saturday when he and the 2-year-old boy had been dropped off on the Highway 6 roadside in Sugar Land area of Texas. And Maleah was then gone. His car was allegedly stolen as well. Now, he says that he walked with the boy to a nearby hospital for help around 11 p.m., where he reported Maleah missing. The police are somewhat skeptical of the account of Vence and are asking for anyone who may have seen anything to help fill in the blanks that Vence was unable to recall. Vence has not been accused of any crimes. He has not been arrested or charged in any way. He is obviously given the presumption of innocence, but something just doesn't smell right on this particular case. I think, unfortunately, it's going to be another case of another dead child. We will keep you posted on that. An Arizona jury has found Raquel Barreras guilty of first-degree murder and felony child abuse after starving her 3-year-old son to death and then putting him in a toy box. This is a tragic case, and this story began to unfold in March of 2014 when Barreras' landlord was cleaning the unit after evicting the Barreras and her family and discovered a tiny skull and several bones inside a toy chest. The landlord, Mark Weisbrod, testified during trial that he initially believed he discovered a Halloween decoration. It turns out it was the remains of Barreras' 3-year-old son. The prosecution alleged and ultimately proved to the jury that Barreras, who's 44, starved her son and would not allow anyone to feed the boy. She allegedly kept him in a toy chest and wouldn't allow her other children to speak or play with the boy. The young boy's name was Roman, and it took a while to die, according to prosecutors. The prosecutors also alleged that once the child was placed in the toy box, that it was eventually moved to an outdoor laundry room, and the child suffered alone and ultimately died of starvation. When the Barreras family was evicted from their home, they allegedly left the boy's bones behind. So Raquel Barreras had pled guilty to several charges prior to the trial, and they went to trial on the charge of first-degree murder and felony child abuse. The defense was basically that she had made some mistakes, once again not going to be the Mother of the Year award, but that she did not intentionally kill her child as alleged. The jury disagreed, found her guilty, and is going to be sentenced to prison for a lengthy sentence. Once again, the Barrerases had a lengthy involvement with the Department of Child Services in Arizona. And I'm not saying that everybody that has a situation where Department of Human Services, Child Protective Services, whatever they call it in your particular location, is a bad parent. A lot of false allegations are made. A lot of things are not what they appear to be, and the situation is resolved. But when you start having a pattern of children being placed in danger, past performance is indicative of future results, and these people need to have a little closer attention. Yes, they may not have done anything wrong, but it becomes clear at some point that they may not have these skills to be good parents. What's a good parent? I don't know, but it usually involves minimally protecting your children.